Thank you very much for staying with us. We're still talking about updates on Elewura and Oriire hostages, and we have a public affairs analyst here with us in the studio, Mr. Adesumbo Badejoko. Good morning, Mr. Badejoko.
Good morning.
All right. Moving straight to what we have this morning, talking of the insecurity incidents generally now. Let's look at where we stopped with the previous guests, talking of bandits now coming online. They show themselves, they show their faces, they make videos. In fact, Nigerians are requesting, they are now doing giveaway online. Nigerians are dropping their account details. How ignorant can Nigerians be when we engage in such acts? Is that, should their ignorance be excused? How did we get to this point where we now start looking onto bandits who make people cry to get the money they are spending, who kill Nigerians to get that money they are using for giveaway? How did we get here as Nigerians? And don't you think those people should actually be called to question, should actually be arrested? They should be fished out. You know, if you could be engaging people like this, it feels like, I mean, it shows that you are even encouraging them to do more to get more money.
You cannot blame those who are getting or collecting money from them when they do give away.
Why not?
We'll rather blame those who have, who are the source of the money. You know, we got to where we are due to our past mistakes, actions and inactions of those in position of authority. You say bandits are on social media. Bandits are in government. Bandits are in the security sector. Bandits are in the banking sector. Bandits are among our political leadership, among religious leadership. Even in the media, we have bandits. So when you now aggregate the whole thing, it's going to be unfair to now be calling for prosecution of those who are just looking for free money. Perhaps those people are hungry and they don't know how they will fare. But rather than calling for their prosecution, you can get some secured intel from them. Here they have sent account number, money will come in. The sender's detail, some of it will be there. That can be used as a source of intelligence gathering. Security people will know what I'm talking about. Bankers will understand what I mean. So, but that's the way they can take advantage of those developments.
But are you saying, because I feel like over time, we have had so many means of tracking these people. Over time, videos made, if you can track someone who's made a comment on social media without even the accounts being in his name, anonymous accounts, faceless accounts, being tracked all the way down to different states, I would say we cannot have tracked all those people all this time before that particular development.
We have the capacity. Some reasons are responsible, like the current situation that we have. If you look at it too, for the bandits in the forests, those are terrorists. They're not petty criminals like, you know, the ones kidnapping in the cities and towns are the regular armed robbers, carjackers, bank robbers. Those are the ones that have now metamorphosed into kidnapping because that seems to have a cover from the terrorist side, and of course is less risky for them. So that's why we are having an industry now for banditry. Now for those in the forest, they are terrorist organizations. They have their own international connection. They make use of satellites. You may not be aware. The phone they use are cloned. You understand? You may be conversing with a number, and when you track it, you are tracking it to Cameroon, for instance. Is that where you think the bandits are located? No. So that's the challenge that the security agents could be facing. Now, the reason why I said we are where we are because of some past mistakes is, you know, we have left so many things done. For instance, why do we have to have ungoverned spaces? as many as we have in this country.
But do you think we have enough security personnel to actually govern those places?
We always
to
pin
man those
everything to,
areas?
there are some measures that will serve as buffer. For instance, if those forests had been converted to economic use, when I mean economic use, tourism is one, agriculture is another. Why has the government decided to just leave those places the way they are? Those are two options I just suggested. It's not that they have not thought about it, but they're just not interested in doing it. And we are now here. When I say tourism, you understand, there are some people interested in safari, touring, and all that. It's a very perfect place to have such thing, because it's a very large forest, so big that it's so bigger than some countries in Africa, even in Europe. Where those kidnap victims are is a combination of 3 national reserves. What is closer to us is the Old Oyo Park. Old Oyo Park stretched into Kwara State. It's joined Bogu in Niger, and it's extended to the Kainji Forest. Now, when you have that, it has a very huge tourist potential. Just clean up the place, put chalets in strategic places where these people can lodge, put those mobile vehicles, those small vehicles, you know what I mean by it. Even our viewers understand. Then, you don't need to fence the whole thing. People want to see those animals in their natural form. In those places, just put rangers there and, of course, a local guard that will see them through the tour. You will be making money.
I mean,
economic activity is going to take place. And when you have such in place, definitely those that will be controlling the business will have their own private security outfit, not governments. And it will be secured.
You say it like, you've thought it through and, a well-thought idea, initiative from you. But where we have, initiatives like these, maybe I would say maybe for the nearest future, but in our current Nigeria, currently and what we are going through, what we are facing, how do you think those ungoverned areas can actually be put to good use or can be secured for, against being set to be a settlement for terrorists?
I just mentioned one. Another one is, I said agriculture. If you put mechanized farms around the perimeter, mechanized farm is not 1 acre, not 2 acre. We are talking about close to 100 minimum. You understand? And those who will acquire it would definitely put some perimeter fencing or wire mesh around it, no matter how big it is. Nigeria is not as big as half of Texas. In Texas alone, they have close to 20 of such farms. And they are fenced with wire mesh. And so that's why in such a place, you cannot have criminal activities like that. We need, something can be put in those places too. These are things that ought to have been done. And this is where your state government is guilty, because agriculture is concurrent, tourism is concurrent. They are not exclusive affairs. But security is exclusive. But when you use the non-exclusive and you invest in it or you attract investment into it, you would have solved the security problem in a way. Even food will be cheaper, because you can't have a land 28,000 square kilometer plus. That's bigger than Rwanda. It's bigger than Burundi. It's bigger than Netherlands. So when you look at that size, and you have countries with that small size, they are doing well agricultural-wise. And we are talking about, and Southwest rely on the North for food. It shouldn't be, or you should take advantage of that position.
So you're saying we are not doing enough in terms of
agriculture,
tourism, despite what
Oyo
your state is doing?
What is Oyo State doing? Maybe I don't know.
I'm talking of agriculture and tourism. I mean,
the noise we hear is about agro-business. And I have been a very unrepentant critic about that policy that come. You cannot climb a tree from the top. You can't start your education from the tertiary. You understand? Agro-business is talking about value added. What are you adding the value to? Where is the raw product? That's my concern, and the government have not been able to defend that. And when you say the reserve belongs to federal government, and I will say, fine, there are some other federal assets or national assets that we've taken over for real estate. So if you can use the energy there, what stops us from doing the same thing with those places?
All right, let's go on to the Oriire situation. Where we've seen another video sometime back. I don't know how some blog sites or social media platforms got wind of the demands reportedly, allegedly, of these bandits, where they mentioned the 1 billion naira, there's concessions on your state's laws and all of that. And then there's the video where they used the woman again, saying, do not play politics. We are not demanding this. These are not our demands. What do you make of that situation?
It's necessary to really put the right information out there, because when that initial social media demand came out, some of us who are privileged to have certain information had debunked it earlier. Where I got disappointed was the Speaker of the State now reading it on the floor of the House, something you have not verified. You're not part of the negotiation team. You understand? There are some verification that ought to have been done, and he has not done well in that area. Even when the Commissioner of Information, he'd issue a statement, we've encircled them, and those were bad moves. In security, you classify sensitive information. Those who do not have clearance should not be informed, and they are not even supposed to make statements. You understand? Because whatever you do negatively is going to be compromising the efforts of those in the front line. And of course, be putting the life of those people further at risk. That is what had happened. And for the video, I asked people just yesterday on another platform that people should pay attention to the countenance of the woman in the last video and the one in the very first video. You see a difference in even the tension level. She's more relaxed in this one, looking fresh, not looking like someone who has been in captivity for 24 days. You understand? What does that tell you? It shows government is, in a way, getting supplies across to them. And they are talking, and of course, these people are not maltreating them. That is the sign. Some of us could read video and get some information through it. Those are the things I read from that video, not just the content of what she's saying. She has not said something I'm not aware of. But now, what is expected of the masses? Before the release of that video, I had to say, come, if you don't have anything to contribute, it's either you start praying so that God will touch their hearts and they let them go, or you keep quiet. By the time you begin to share negative things, unconfirmed videos, unconfirmed information, you are only helping the cause of the kidnappers or the terrorists, to call them what they are. That is what you're doing. So the best you can do is to downplay the whole thing. And when I say there are bandits in in the media too, you discover that if you are very careful, there are some media platforms that I will not mention that are always the first to break the news. What is the channel of communication? Nobody have personnel on ground in the forest. But that means they are getting it somehow. Do you understand? And of course, once they break, everybody put traffic on their own platform. They make a lot of money from the traffic. So that's what we are doing negatively. That is not good. In a Senate climb, rather than attention being on the security agency or the government, attention will be on those criminals. You start seeing information about their background, what they have done before, the school they attend, where they were born, the parents that raised them, if they have any criminal record. Those are the things that will be flying all over the media. And if they are going to speak to what the security are doing, they would rather be speaking towards their efforts. Okay, they've been able to do this. They've been able to drop 4 of them. They are making progress. positive information so that the psyche of the society would be helped in a way, and the emotional level will be toned down. Because what we have in Nigeria, it is the reverse of all of that.
But then, now let's look at the situation where a statement has been made about not playing politics with the lives of the people in there, not playing politics with the nature of insecurity that we are facing presently. And also, I would like to also add, what do you read when it comes to the demand or the psyche of the bandits, terrorists, who are still holding these people hostage?
Yeah, that one is obvious for somebody that can read between the lines. They are tired. The operation has taken too long than they planned. So they wanted an escape route, a face-saving strategy is what they are deploying now. Something that will just like, okay, they are not asking for money as we speak. They will just eventually turn the thing to money. But they have people also giving them instructions. Those ones are the ones that have not spoken yet to give a new directive. Just leave them there and find your way. Collect something to help yourself and leave. Until that kind of directive comes, it's an hostage situation. Hostage negotiation takes a lot of time because it will take time for the government that is involved to agree. And there's nothing wrong with hostage situation. It's about life being saved. And it's not an embarrassment to the country. Even United States of America, as powerful as it is, had to do prisoner exchange due to hostage negotiation. This year, they have to release like 6 commanders of the terrorist group in exchange for some other American citizens that have been held captive somewhere. So it's not something that is strange. And so those of people who are out there, and that's another unfortunate thing, because subsidy has been removed, and then you attach every other thing to subsidy removal, and you so hate the government that you are now hating your country in the process. You're not supposed to hate your country, in as much as you live, even if you are not living there, in as much as your country. You may not be proud to be a Nigerian, but you remain a Nigerian, whether you pretend about it or not. You can't hate your country.
In the fight against insecurity, how do we stand united as a country?
Well, somebody has started an hashtag, Nigerians Unite Against Terror. We should all key into that. How do we unite? One, you contribute your own quota by not sharing information that will promote the agenda of the terrorists. But rather, for instance, the very day that a kidnap was, I think it was the second week after this Oriire thing, the Nigerian army in an operation in Sambisa killed over 700 of these guys, and they had to flee across the mountain into Cameroon. That video is on social media. If you go to my Facebook page now, you'll see it there, because I had to. That's the kind of thing I want to be sharing. And I encourage people to share so that the narrative will change. And those in front line, the military, the police, will be encouraged to do more. You are doing the service to them. When they will go, some of them will be killed, and the only thing you share is the video of them being killed and not the people they have killed. That is one thing we can do. We are a very religious country. Prayer is another thing we can do. Whichever way you understand how to pray, pray for the souls that have lost, for the ones in captivity, even for the souls of these criminals so that they can change. You understand? The Christians will know that there's a character in the Bible called Saul of Tarsus. He was once like that. But somehow, through prayers, he changed and he became an evangelist. So they can also change and start doing good. Well, that is what we want. For everybody to contribute to national development. National development is not the government's primary assignment. It is everybody's effort. As a citizen, you have an obligation to contribute your quota. You understand? That's why Kennedy will say, was it Roosevelt, that do not just think about what your country can do for you. Also be thinking of what you can do for your country. Because Nigeria belongs to all of us. Some people may be having privileges now. They're not going to be there forever. But once you are optimistic and patriotic, you would continue to move in that track. That is where I stand. That's my own philosophy about this country. And I wish as many people as possible would join me in that, because when we are adding number, it will get to a stage that this will outnumber those who have criminal mindsets. For instance, the Oyo State government I just banned the use of motorcycle between 10:30 and 5:30 a.m. Very beautiful development. When I heard it, I said, well, it's better late than never, because these are things that have to have been done like 5 years ago. But it's incomplete. Why is it incomplete? Not even knowing this will happen, because I made these statements before the Oriire kidnap, that we have left out some other things. Why should people have money to buy a car of 20 million, 25 million, and not have 150,000 to register that vehicle, and they will prefer to drive it about unregistered? They are instruments for kidnap within the city. Why should people prefer a tinted that you will not even see what is going on inside to the normal one? And I discovered that we use that most in Nigeria than any other country. Why should it be? Are we all criminals? Why are you hiding? Why can't you allow people see, okay, yeah, that gentleman is right? What is the rationale behind indiscriminate use of tinted vehicle? These are things that we can also use to help crime prevention, because they are ancillary to the crimes. And voila, the second day or third day, a kidnap was done using an unregistered vehicle. So these are things that we need to, the government should have added to it. And somebody that was missing, they will not add it because the majority of the people using unregistered vehicles are connected to government. I said that shouldn't be. Justice should start from within.
Right, so how do we also address the high increase? Because the number of those who we are seen as informants from different communities for these terrorists, bandits, kidnappers. Recently, the Oriire kidnapping, they are making links to certain people who are in-house, with the family that was affected. The Oriire community, similar. We have seen the number of arrests already made. Different areas also have similar. And then we are also noticing the number of arrests also being made on people who are serving information to bandits who are scouting communities, maybe to come and perpetrate evil. How do we address that as citizens of this country, and not just people who would allow any evil before people around them?
Why did you not put government today? Why just citizens?
Because, it's citizens who are giving this information out.
The governments need to do certain things that would, in this country, an average Nigeria has become so corrupt-minded that they think less of doing the right thing. I've been embarrassed in several occasions. It's like those of us who think normal, we are the abnormal people now. That's the situation out there. You want to do the right thing, try to correct a mistake. So many things are wrong. For instance, government just finished a road, put a drainage, slap the drainage to create a walkway, and because the walkway is passing in front of somebody's shop, the person will extend his or her shop onto the walkway, and you trekking will now have to leave the walkway, walk on the road to bypass. And when you ask questions, why do you put this in there? Your shop did not get here. The next thing you get is insult. I've seen a situation, I had to engage on a personal campaign. A hotel, very big hotel with big compound, as big as the compound is, could not put the generator of the hotel inside the compound. He placed it outside of the fence, right on the walkway. And that thing was generating toxic waste, and the road in front at Kfin, even at the moment. When I started that campaign, Ministry of Environment came in, probably collected money and left. Though he has removed the generator now, but the road is already spoiled. And this is a road that was newly or recently rehabilitated. Before government would think about such road again, it may take years. I'm just giving examples of what we do, so that you will know that it is only hard measures from government. Like, example of what government can do. create a special tribunal for terrorism and kidnapping and other related offenses. Special one. Once you have anything to do with it, that is where you go. Not the regular court that there will not be just...
It makes it easy and faster.
It makes justice faster and no mercy, no appeal. Once you go through there, clean up the prison first, because in Agodi, for instance, would have more awaiting trial than the ones actually serving jail sentence. Do something about those awaiting trial, or you build new prison facilities. Once they know that, once they share information or they collaborate with a kidnap incident, they are going in for it, except the operation is successful. Look at coup plot, for instance. For mere hearing about it and not speaking, it has its implication. Those are the measures that will make people to not cooperate. And for those doing it out of fear, you should know that it's only the government that can protect you better. Now, those communities that are remote too, we should not have a place that will be ungoverned or no. As Oriire, as big as it is, Oriire is bigger than some states in Nigeria as a local government. Now, you now have that only one police division to serve how many communities or villages is wrong. We have decided not to empower the local government. It's so terrible in Oyo State that it is the state government that is deciding the local government project for them. These are things that are not right, that can solve this problem.
Mr. Badejiko, because of our time, let's look at the Eleura incident now. You know, we talk about ungoverned areas a lot, and for incidents like that happening in an urban setting, talking about kidnapping syndicates. Now, what do we make of these, particular incidents? And of course, luckily they've been rescued. We also had some people come out to say they've fallen victim of these people and they've paid a certain amount of ransom. But in a situation where we have a syndicate operating, and now this is not just tilting towards a particular, ethnic group, but our own Yoruba people engaging in this. It is also in the middle of the city where people live. They have neighbors around, and still people said they do not know what, they were actually agents or security agencies, or it was just an unfortunate incident.
Well, it's a product of the way we think. I told you an average Nigerian has become so evil-minded that that's the only thing they think about. For instance, it is still hard measure. I like what the state government has done, going to demolish the place. But they should do more by identifying the agents.
But demolishing it on time, we also had, a lot of people say, is that not tampering with evidence?
Which one is tampering with evidence? What other evidence did they've rescued the victim? They have them in captivity. Had it been they used the place and they left undiscovered, you can now be talking about evidence. But they have already captured people. Their intel is the evidence. Demolishing it is in the right order. The agents that gave them the apartment should also be arrested for not doing the right thing. You don't just, because of the commission, you want to just begin. And they are doing this because of money. They increase, on behalf of the landlord, rents virtually all the time. Some will even give a condition that you cannot stay beyond a year there. I had a case in Basharun of recent, and I was like, what kind of thing is this? Those are measures. Some people need to be called to order. CDAs need to be encouraged, because when we say community policing, they are the only group that can be relied on for now, since we do not have enough security personnel. Okay, so government should look at how they can mobilize these people, get them to have confidence in giving intelligence information, and of course give them detail of